Arlington. 175, 675.
Okay. And where were your parents from?
They lived there too.
But where were they from? Where were they born?
Well, don't ask me where they're from. We came from England. Well, I was born in England,
In what town?
Manchester, England.
But that was just, you just stopped there. That wasn't the,
We'd say we lived there for about 15 years.
you lived there for 15 years?
Yeah.
How old were you when you moved from there?
Well, I was just a young kid, about 2 or 3 years old. Maybe. I didn't know anything about it. I don't remember a thing about England.
Do you remember why they decided to move from England?
Well, the years back, they gave them like farms. You know, he came to go on a farm, but he didn't go on a farm. But they built a house on Pritchard Avenue, and we all lived there. There was 8 of us.
What were your brothers and sisters' names?
Well, there was Isaac and Dora and me and Bessie and Sam and David and Isidore and Barney.
Oh.
8.
What happened to all of them?
They all died.
All except for Sam is still alive.
Sam is the only one.
But
Sam and I.
one was a boxer.
And then I worked in Clark Brothers Stationery for a while, and then my sister-in-law took me into where she worked in the overall factory, and I worked there. I made good money. That time where you made $35 a week, you made lots.
How old were you then, Bob?
God, I don't remember how old I was. I was married. I guess I must have been about 20, 21.
Oh, how old were you when you got married?
When I got married, I must have been about 20 years old.
So how did you meet Zeta?
I met him. My father had property on Grove Street, and he came in. We came from the beach. He came in, and I asked him if he could lend me an umbrella. It was raining. And next day he sent his niece in. His niece asked me if I want to go out with him to go on the beach.
He was too shy to ask you himself.
He came in for phone lady. Didn't have a phone in the house. So my sister Beth says to me, "Why don't you go? What are you gonna do at home?" So I went and I enjoyed myself, and I couldn't get rid of him.
How long after that was it before you were married?
Well, I met him. It must have been in June, and I was married in January.
Oh, so it was just a few months later.
Yeah.
Okay, what was before you got married though? What was it like with all that, such a big family?
Well, we didn't notice it. I think we got married when he was about 18 years old, and he left home. Dora got married when she was 16 and left home. But we lived on Grove Street there for a while, you see?
Where was that?
Grove.
On Grove.
Yeah, that's where Leicester Street is.
Oh.
And then we bought a house on Allen Street, and we moved in there, to Allen Street.
What do you remember about your father and about your mother?
Oh, my father worked. He was a hard worker, and she was a housewife, quiet and nice. And we enjoyed our life. We used to go skating and dancing.
Oh, that's nice.
And when I won a prize for waltzing when I was 14, about 16 years old. I went with a fellow by the name of Willie Walchuk. He was a big catch.
But you didn't marry him.
No, I had another fellow before I married mine, but he was cheating on me, so I
Gave him the boot.
I gave him the boot.
Oh,
He was the country. He worked at the country store, Well, his name was Isidore too, Isidore Margolo.
Oh, that's a coincidence.
Eh?
That's a coincidence, the same name. So, what about school?
Well, I didn't go, I went to school for a while, then I went to work early. And then I met him and I got married.
And that was that?
That was that. That was my.
So where did you live?
Then I
when you got married?
moved up Poston Avenue.
Mhm.
We bought a home there. We lived on Poston Avenue, from Post.
What year was that?
Oh God, I don't remember the years.
Do you remember what year you got married?
It's quite a while. Started
It was probably 1922, something like that. As you said, you were about 20 years old when you got married?
yeah,
So it would have been the early 20s, probably.
yeah.
So how old were you when you had your first baby?
Well, I had 11 months after I was married. I had Dorothy. And your dad was 5 years later. And Harold and Phil was only 14 months difference.
So you had 3 children?
3 children.
So, how many years did you go to school?
Oh, I went to school too. Well, I think I quit school when I was about early, but it was early because I went to work. You know, this
For 14? Or?
you made a very poor living then.
Mhm.
That's it. That's the time.
What do you remember about Winnipeg? Because it was
I know.
1904
Where
when
we
you moved
lived,
here?
we could have bought any lot you wanted. You could have where Eaton's were the nicest streets in the Winnipeg. But he bought a house on Polson Avenue. Not on Polson, Pritchard.
I guess you just didn't know. Like,
They
there's
didn't know. They didn't know.
You just can't tell what's going to happen.
Everybody lived on the market, around the market there, you know, and all the rich Jews lived around there. But this,
So you used to go out skating all the time? Where did you go?
we went on the river, we were dancing, we used to dance, and go to dancing with the boy. I used to dance with all the classy dancers. But this one really took me to the Royal Alley. And I won a prize for waltzing.
What did you win?
Now I can't move my legs.
What did you win?
I got a piece of, I got it in that.
A ribbon.
A
You
ribbon?
got a ribbon?
No, not a ribbon.
Certificate?
It's a piece of tray, a little wooden tray.
Oh,
I still got it.
a little plaque. That's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, that's a nice memory. So there was 8 of you in one house.
There
How
was
many
8 of us in
bedrooms?
that one house.
How many bedrooms did it have?
I think there was about 3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms. So it was pretty crowded then.
Oh, are you kidding? You don't have a bedroom each nowadays, like here. We're glad to have your own home. You were a millionaire then.
So Bobby, before your parents moved to England, do you know where they?
I don't know.
You don't know where they came from or what countries
I
they're
don't
from?
know. I don't remember. I had never heard where they came from. They never talks about it.
They never talked about it, and you never asked them?
He was a little towns, you know. I don't remember. I don't know.
Do you know what country they were from?
It's some part in Russia there. Before they went to England.
And they stayed in England for 15 years.
I think must have been about 12, so something like that. I don't remember. It was hard to. Like you sit down and talk now, you don't sit down. But Mother told me, this is you're born as sickest, and this today, and this the year, you know. And I knew how old. Now my brother's about 80. My brother's about 90 years old, and I'm 77, 87. He should do. He went. He was agree. He didn't know. He went to register us in England, so he couldn't understand what they were talking about. So he says, well, how old, what's your name? Taylor,